4:02 in the capital city, Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. This is Plain Talk. My name is Philip Edward Alexander. I'm your host. Today we are going to be dealing with some very serious issues, stuff that you'd like to get to the bottom of. I know I'd like to get to the bottom of. As usual, we're going to be taking your calls on 682-2110 when we give you the cue, but we're going to be coming right back at it. Get yourself ready. Tell everybody. WhatsApp your friends, call them and tell them Plain Talk is on after this.
Darren's Air Conditioning Services. Professional services at affordable prices. They have air-conditioned units starting at $2,100 with installation. We supply Lennox, Pioneer, Infinity, and Comfy units, all at unbeatable prices. Servicing of a 12,000 BTU at only $150. Don't forget to check them out on Facebook and Instagram. So contact Darren's Air Conditioning Services at 749-8245.
Unique Woodworking Trinidad Limited and Unique Lumber Guyana Incorporated are premium manufacturers and exporters for high-quality wood and steel doors, bifolding sliding and pocket door systems, operable louver shutters, hardwood floors, staircases, and decks. We specialize in bank counters, office furniture, cabinetry with granite countertops, and over 500 architectural molding designs. We provide complete outfitting for hotels, resorts, hospitals, banks, tertiary institutions, condominiums, and residential projects. We also supply kiln-dried greenheart, mahogany, cedar, and teak lumber locally and regionally. Our logs are cut and shipped by Unique Lumber Guyana and properly dried in our computerized kiln at our factories facilities in Trinidad. For over 32 years, our products have been standing strong, and we are committed to providing after-sales support. Visit our showroom or check out our website at www.uniquedoors-tt.com. It's the quality that makes us unique.
Business cards are the best way to get your contact info into the hands of your clients, customers, and associates. At Stationery United, we do top-quality business cards at fantastic prices. Stationery United, great quality, great prices, fast delivery.
Okay, so we're back. Some of you who are watching us from around the world may not know some of the stuff you're going to find out today. So without further ado, I want to get into it. I want to ask some questions. Hi, good afternoon. I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Is your hotel one of the hotels that taking in returning residents?
That is correct.
For quarantine?
Yes, sir.
How much does the quarantine cost?
It starts at $5,950, all taxes included.
Say that to me. Say that to me again.
It starts at $5,950 PT, all taxes included. Breakfast is complimentary.
So that's $5,950 for all 14 days?
No, that's for 7 nights.
That's for 7 nights.
Yeah.
The quarantine, is it mandatory 14?
depends on where the person is traveling from.
Okay.
If the person who's passing through the UK or been in Europe, it will be 14 nights.
And if it's Europe, it's 40 nights. So this is 1 week. And so they just call and book, and you make you make all the
So we'll need
arrangements.
to get an email address from the person to forward them the booking form. They'll need to complete it and return to the hotel to start the process.
Thank you very much for all your information.
You're welcome, sir.
Bye.
I am sorry. The number you...
Give me a minute. What number did I dial? Oh, I dialed the wrong one. You picking up the phone, good?
Hotel?
Hello, good day. Where have I called?
Cascade Hotel?
Hi, good evening. Are you one of the hotels for returning residents to quarantine?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me what your rates are?
For how many persons? One or two?
One.
For 7 nights or 14?
Give me both.
77 nights rate would be 6,475.
All taxes included?
Yep.
Breakfast
And
included?
for the 14 nights, it will be 11,550.
11,550. Does this
Yeah.
include any meals?
Breakfast included.
Breakfast included.
But not breakfast included, sorry. All meals included. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
6475, all meals included.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Alright, no problem.
That's K-Pop, that's Cascadia. Humor me for a minute. I need to make these calls before those who will block me from getting this information get wise to what I'm trying to do today.
This is the highest Regency, Trinidad. Julian speaking on my direct your call.
Hi, good day. Could you put me onto the department that deals with returning residents and quarantine?
I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
This hotel, the Hyatt, doesn't deal with returning residents or quarantine?
No, you need to speak to immigration on that.
I want to ask you one more question. Do you know what percentage of the Hyatt is owned by Trinidad and Tobago?
No, I don't have that information.
Thank you very, very much.
My-
The woman laughed. The woman laughed.
Welcome
Yes.
to Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center. Your call is important to us. Press 1 if you know your party's extension. Press 2 for directory listing. Press 3.
Please enter the first 4 letters of your party's last.
Let's do this again. Joseph, I need some information.
Welcome to the Hilton
What
Trinidad
percentage of Hyatt
Center.
and Hilton
Your call is
owned by Trinidad and Tobago?
Press 1 if you know your party's extension. Press 2 for directory listing. Press 3 for a list of departments. Or hold for the operator's assistance. Thank you.
Frienders, good afternoon. Ken speaking. How may I assist you?
Hi, good afternoon. Is your hotel one of the hotels that are taking returning residents on quarantine?
Oh, unfortunately not, sir. We're not a quarantine hotel.
Are you open for business now?
Yes, we are.
How many rooms does the Hilton have?
All right, let me put you to my reservations, right? So you
Please.
can answer. Oh, okay, one moment.
Thank you. Satish, is there a COVID hotline?
The toll-free number you have dialed is...
All right. Well.
Welcome to the Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center. Your call is important to us. Press 1 if you know your party's extension. Press 2 for directory listing. Press 3 for a list of departments. Or hold for the operator's assistance.
I need to know the level of the investment Trinidad State Treasury has in Hyatt and Hilton.
Hilton Trinidad, good afternoon. How may I assist?
Hi, good afternoon. Could you put me onto reservations or your
Please
front
hold.
desk?
Sure, please hold.
The toll-free number you have dialed is not toll-free. If you proceed, you will be charged $2 per minute. If you do not wish to be charged, please hang up now.
Welcome to the Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center. Your call is important to us. Press 1 if you know your party's extension. Press 2 for directory listing. Press 3 for a list of departments. Or hold for the operator's assistance. Thank you.
I want that same information on Hilton.
Hilton Trinidad, good afternoon. How may I assist?
Hi, ma'am. This is the third time. The numbers that you have forwarded me to going to voicemail. Is there anybody who I could speak to about reservations in the hotel? Do you have information on the hotel, like the amount of rooms and stuff?
Alright, I'll have to transfer you, but let me see if I can get on to them for you. You wanna give me your contact number and name?
My name is Philip Edward Alexander.
What's your contact?
682-2110.
682
2110.
2110. Alright. Can you hold for me, please?
Sure. I'll bring everybody up to speed shortly. Hi, good afternoon. I was trying to get some information about the hotel, how many rooms it has.
The hotel has 405 rooms.
405?
That's correct.
Is it fully booked right now?
No, we have rooms available.
Would you be able to give me offhand how much rooms might be available?
One. How many rooms do you need?
The room stock is on your end. What you tell me you have will determine my next question.
One.
How many are booked or how many are available right now?
That's what I'm checking.
Okay,
So just go to me for one.
sure.
So for tonight, you're able to get 17 rooms.
There are 17 rooms available.
That's right.
All the other rooms are occupied.
No, we're only operating with certain rooms. We're only using our standard rooms. Some of the rooms are closed off due to low occupancy.
Oh, so like a percentage of the hotel is closed.
That's right.
Could you tell me what percentage that might be? I just need an idea.
No, so I don't think I'm at liberty to give out that information unless you make yourself clear on who is calling and exactly why you did this.
My name is Philip Edward Alexander. I'm trying to get some information as to why the state is not using Hilton Hotel, which it owns, to bring back returning residents and quarantine them.
Alright, yeah, they did not use Hilton as one of those recognized state facilities currently at the moment. What we just have the regular locals that stay with us. The rest of the hotel, part of it is actually closed off for low occupancy. And the other part of the hotel, we actually have long stay business with the oil and gas companies that are actually here. Some of them are actually here before they go offshore or when they return.
Thanks a lot for all of your help, my friend. Have a lovely day.
Okay, no problem.
So this is our situation, right? The state owns Hilton. In fact, under Patrick Manning, we spent enough treasury dollars, taxpayer dollars, renovating that Hilton hotel that we could have built 3 more Hiltons with our money. Hyatt Hotel, which is 100% owned by the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago, is so closed to returning residents who might need a quarantine that the person I asked that question to, she laughed when I asked the question. Cascadia and Capoc are available. They're on the list. Cascadia is $6,475 a week. Capoc is $5,950 a week. I want you to understand the insult of what you just heard. The people of Trinidad and Tobago paid for the Hyatt. These people who are returning from overseas, they paid to build the Hilton. They paid to build. Hyatt cost us $700,000 a room. We own the Hyatt and we own the Hilton. And we prefer to shut them down and make the people who paid to build those hotels, the people who own those hotels, have no access to them. Now, the government played a game, a nasty, nasty game with our citizens of this country. Nasty. And as much as I wished Franklin can rot in hell, I wish worse. When Stuart Young finally shuffles off this mortal coil, I hope he gets all he deserves and more. I hope he hears the anguish of people he cares about in his sleep. Because a lot of these people were reduced after spending many more months than they could have afforded when they tapped out, maxed out credit cards and everything that they could in a COVID world. And had to rely on the kindness of strangers. These people have nothing left. Some of them were blocked from coming back to their own country by lies told to the courts, so that the courts would believe that there is this mad virus outside there trying to kill everybody. That if you're bringing in our residents, the whole country will get COVID and dead. But 50 Israelis on the spy plane could jump off the plane, whoosh, head straight to where they're going, do what they come to do, and leave. They could have bring the Brazilian, the Margaritan, the Martian versions of COVID-19. Nobody stopped them to check the temperature, to feel under their armpit. When Delcy and the plane load of drug lords came to meet with Stuart Young and Keith Rowley, nobody stopped them to check their temperature before they went through Trinidad and Tobago. But citizens of the Republic, the courts are being told, citizens of the Republic returning home will kill everybody with COVID. That is the insanity of this disgusting and hateful government. And to compound matters and to make it worse, some of these people were outside when their loved ones were dying and died, and they were not given the opportunity to even come home to bury their dead. These people watch their businesses close down. I have a friend. He used to write me every day on Facebook and on WhatsApp, and he telling me, Philip, my business closing down. Philip, my business closing down. My family outside. These are well-off, well-to-do, formerly middle-class people. High society people, down the islands people. He said, Philip, I'm watching my business close down from outside them that not do. These nasty people. And then, instead of using the airline that the citizens have pumped money into for decades, when we bought Air Jamaica at a loss, when we sold our gates in London at a loss, when we had to buy planes and pay bribes from Francis Privat and Johnny O'Halloran come forward, the BW Air Caribbean Airlines, whatever the name is, that has been looting the treasury, has been a way for ministers to put their unqualified sons into $45,000 a month jobs plus perks that the taxpayers pay for. Did we send our planes to hubs, to London, to Miami, to Barbados, and bring our people home? No, we not. They have to pay. Did we make the Hilton and the Hyatt that their money paid for available to them? No. You must pay KPOC $5,950 TT a week, breakfast included. You must pay $6,475 to Gillette, Cascadia Hotel. Why do we allow these shit snakes to abuse office in this manner? Why are the courts of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago not recognizing the supreme authority of the citizens of this republic? And why do we continue this way every day, each of us holding our corner, pretending that as long as we safe, as long as we on the Agostini Pfizer list, we will get our vaccine and keep our family happy, as long as we part of anybody who moving with anybody who could pick up a phone and call a connected member of the PNM, we safe. Trinidad could burn down. We will jam. And the reason when things go bad in your world, in Trinidad and Tobago, the reason nobody rides to your rescue is because you ride to no one's. And this country is how it is because a handful of criminals, first the French Creoles, until there was a worldwide recession and they cut their losses, they give away their businesses, take Ross Drugs, take Woolworth, take Stevens and Johnson's, take McAnany, take Alston's, take George F. Huggins, take all. They're gone. They get their loot and they're gone. We create a new 1%. So the next boom we get, they was poised to enrich themselves. But at what point do the average citizen, Trinidad and Tobagonian, realize that until all of us pull together in one direction, row in the same direction, that this country, all the power we think we have and all the access we think we have and all the live forever we think we will live forever. Frankie thought he was living forever. Frankie had a love nest in One Woodbrook Place. He was doing well. If I was Frankie, I'd be smiling all the time too. What happened? I'm the Frankie. Here's some more information for you, and we're taking your calls when we come back on 682-2110. We're taking a break to pay some bills. Don't go nowhere. Tell everybody that this show is on, and get ready to call in 682-2110. When you call in, remember, say where you're calling from, keep it short, and listen to me on your phone, not on the device you're hearing my voice on now, because there's a delay. When we come back.
Torrance Air Conditioning Services. Professional services at affordable prices. They have air-conditioned units starting at $2,100 with installation. We supply Lennox, Pioneer, Infinity, and Comfy units, all at unbeatable prices. Servicing of a 12,000 BTU at only $150. Don't forget to check them out on Facebook and Instagram. So contact Darren's Air Conditioning Services at 749-8245.
682-2110. If you want to call in, I just check in some of these messages. Kendall Baggy, Chief Research Officer. I see you back to full health, my friend. Oh my gosh, I gotta put this in place. Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live. You hearing me? Hello, you hearing me? Sorry about that, we missed a call. So, didn't expect it to be dialing so quickly. Darren's Air Conditioning. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm listening to the program on my phone, and I want to say that, you know, a lot of us, we lack the testicular fortitude, even in what we say and the way we react in Trinidad and Tobago. This place is such a blessed country. It's just that we have, all we turn, we're finding square pegs in the wrong holes. We're finding that people are not only about not about country, they're about themselves.
Indeed.
It's a sad place we have reached in Trinidad and Tobago.
Indeed.
You know, we don't have the era of, I remember the era of A.N.R. Robinson, a man who fought real long and hard for this country, and to see how we treat him in the end, it was really, really, really sad. But, you know, God is blessing us still where we can even help St. Vincent, Venezuela, and so on. But we really have to come together, band together, and forget all the divisiveness and hate that we have inside of us towards each other. Indeed. It is the only way we can grow and understand the power of leadership. The people who really supposed to assume political office don't ever get into political office, and they're the ones that will make the change in our nation. It's so sad.
Thanks for your call, my friend. Where you call from?
I'm calling from Bat area.
Thanks a lot for your call.
Yes, man. You're welcome.
And those of you, if you don't get in on your first try, just call right back. I'm sorry that we missed. I just missed somebody on 705. If you want, call back or I'll call you. Darren's Air Conditioning. Darren's Air Conditioning, I tell you, they're the best. Anybody that we recommend is because we test the service. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hi, good evening. I'm calling from St. Augustine. Are you hearing me?
Very clearly, you hearing me?
Yes. Okay, so I would like to ask, right? Just two questions. Well, more than that, but two for now. I am trying to figure out how many people are still stranded or locked out abroad. I don't really look at the conferences anymore, the media conferences, because I tend to get anxiety and I'm frustrated. So I was wondering if we have that information as to how many people are still locked out or still need assistance. Is there any way we could get that information? And also regarding this new variant, is there any way we could get information as to if the person had contact with Venezuelans, because we are not hearing anything regarding if any Venezuelan, and I'm sorry to single out them, but we are not getting any information as to are any of them or have any of them been hospitalized, have any of them been vaccinated. I know it may be a private matter, but is there any way we could know these things? Thank you.
And ma'am, and I hope you're still listening to me when you come off, I want you to understand every single question that you ask is an important question. And how do we get that information from a government bent on lying? Yesterday, the Trinidad Express published, I kid you not, 3 people died from death. That is what the Express published. That 3 people died from death. Now if we haven't reached the end of all intelligent life, where those who consider themselves leaders in this country is concerned, I think that's it. Because that's the kind of nonsense that the Ministry of Health, Parashram and Diyal Singh putting out, that you are not getting information. They're being very selective in the information they put out because it must serve their agenda. How many people in this country have been tested positive as a percentage of how many people have been tested? How many people who are in hospital are actually critical and on life support? Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hi Philip, how are you doing? This is Chris calling from Canada.
Hi Chris.
On that note, I just had to ask you because I was wondering, how much longer do we have until we reach to where Venezuela reach? At the rate things are going. If you want, you can answer the question offline. Thanks for taking the call.
And it sounds morbid. And Trinidadians, as we are wont to, do not look at the reality around us, so that when it collapses, we are more in shock than anybody else. But all of these symptoms, all of these signals, everything is there for you to see. The country has been mismanaged to a point. We are told that our economy is damaged because of COVID-19. Our economy was on the ropes before we knew what a COVID-19 was. Colm Imbert was struggling to make sense of his bulbs nonsense and his yam and cassava foolishness. The government used the budget to fool people. I've heard less nonsense at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party in Alice in Wonderland. Trinidad and Tobago it appears to be a country afraid to pay attention to what the government is saying. I don't know a single person who actually sits and watches any of those conferences anymore. Nobody. I wrote on Facebook once, if I listen to these people talk anymore, I might fling my TV out the window and then I have to replace the TV. So that would be foolish. And everybody telling me, boy Philip, you're not the only one. Everybody waiting on social media to see the top links, what they discuss, what they said. Because nobody wants to inflict on themselves the torture of listening to that level of lies, half-truths, and dubious statistics. I have to read a list of our sponsors for this show. Darren's Air Conditioning, Unique Woodworking, Build a Basket, SEACXC tuition classes, flood secure barriers, Fishy Pets Trini Pet Store, the Care Clinic and Medical Center in Kitchener Street, Woodbrook. Fishy Pets Trini Pet Store is located in Movie Town. Musai's Auto Service in El Dorado, Stationery United in Barataria, and Trinity Lighting, Western Main Road, St. James. These are some of the businesses, and we are compiling a list of 1,400 friends, businesses that are friends, our circle of friends, that will be giving deals, discounts, bargains, specials to Citizens Union members, and we'll be passing that information on to you in these shows, and we're suggesting to people, patronize those people first. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hi. Philip? Right. I am in the States right now. I am a pensioner. I want to come home. My husband is a pensioner. Where would I get that money to pay that hotel? My husband is deaf, right? I was speaking to him yesterday, and I was telling him to go find out, certain things, and he couldn't help himself. What do I do? I don't know. I'm here with my daughter, but they're not working, and I'm in coaching on them. I want to come home, but where would I get that money to go and pay in this hotel?
And that's the point I'm trying to raise, because you're not the only one that's going through this. But if you can, send me a WhatsApp after the call. Send me a WhatsApp with your information, because I am sure I have followers and members, and if your matter touches somebody and they say they want to help you, I will get that. I'll put you in touch with them. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot for calling. Stay strong.
Yes, bye-bye.
Those people, their taxes built Hilton. That woman, her deaf husband, their taxes built Hyatt. That woman and her husband and her family carried our different versions of BWE all these years that have been nothing but drains on our economy. They paid for it. Them. This is how we treat them now. It is an insanity of epic proportions that this is our reality. That we own the Trinidad Hilton, that we spent 3 times the value of it under Manning. That we own the Hyatt 100%. We spent $700,000 per room. Taxpayers' money. That lady, all these callers. And telling them when they come home, if we allow them to come home, you must go and pay Cascadia $6,475 or keep up $5,950. You tell me this is not an insane country. Tell me this is not a place where the devil has come to squat and decided to live. Tell me Satan not writing government policy in this country. Tell me that we are so evil to our people that this might be how we choose to run this country. 682-2110. There was something I was trying to read just now. Everything happening on the same phone. Now, to the people who send the messages, what's the date today? 20th. Court upholds the constitutionality of the public health regulations. The Attorney General is pleased to receive the unanimous decision of the Court of Appeal delivered today, 20th of April 2021, which ruled that the public health regulations implemented by the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in response to the COVID-19 pandemic are constitutionally valid and protected from challenge. Decision affirms the executive's right to continue to pass regulations to protect the public health of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and stands as solid testimony to the method and approach adopted by God since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. My problem is that the courts are advised by the same people who they're ruling for, and I do not think that that is a correct assessment of the situation. So many good, educated, sensible people who love this country, and we put in Stuarty to run the Ministry of Energy. I could answer you, but I wouldn't be surprised if Trevor Sayers ends up as the Minister of Health before the end of this week. And all of those things that we say to be funny, to survive the insanity, that's okay, yeah? That's okay, but at some point, we have to face the truth about where we live and what we are and what's happening here. I can't read some of these messages. And I hate the fake posturing that pretends that people who in their lives have abused public office and the people's trust, that still in death are supposed to be treated like some paragons of virtue. Or as Jack Warner used to say, yesterday was yesterday, today is today. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hello, good evening. Mr. Alexander.
Yes, ma'am.
Here what is I thinking. So much people getting COVID and the strain is down here, the new strain. Instead they put Heinz there, better to open the border for everyone to come now because just not all of us will get it.
Well, girl, I asked Terence the Alsing where the Brazilian strain come from if the country locked down 13 months now on the border closed. Where it come from?
But that is it. So the better we open the border, let the people come down. Because border closed, we still getting it.
If it came here by Venezuelans crossing the border the other night, that means Stuart Young failed as Minister of National Security so epically that he infected the nation and then we promote him to Minister of Energy. That is the insanity.
But that is it. So let him open it and let the people come back home.
Indeed. Thank you very much for your call, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Bye.
682-2110. If we missed a couple calls there, so if you want to call back in, to our advertisers, and I keep talking about this, we have an advertiser who I did a special video for on Sunday, and he called us today, Tuesday, and asked us please turn it off because it's gotten over 90,000 views last time I checked, but it had him working round the clock, just trying to keep up with the calls they were getting. And that's the power of advertising, credible advertising, where people feel a connection to the people making the claims. I want to tell you something. We are not going to advertise for anything or anybody that we don't first test and make sure that the claims that they're making are true. So we're actually going to be endorsing those who advertise with us. And if you want to advertise with us, you can call 769-4590 or 486-2888 or 471-2888. I'm sure Satish is going to put that information on any ticker tapes that he runs today. But as some of you may be aware, the show is running on the drive time to test the drive time audience. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Good evening, Mr. Philip.
traffic warners. No, I'm listening to your program and I'm hearing all these things. It's almost like our country is going through an assault and attack by this government, and it's sad that we don't really have the ammunition to even deal with this problem, because these people have their troops all over, even in the justice, the system, every corner of the country, and it's really, really sad and frustrating to hear this and to feel like almost like you're being defeated.
I want to tell you something. Your labor, your consumption, and your vote upholds this country. The troops that you're talking about are paid for with your taxes. If the government couldn't hand out largesse that they collect from you and everybody else, those troops will evaporate like 5 cents shave ice in midday sun. Your vote, your labor, your consumption. Remember those 3 pillars. That's the power of the country. And we'll talk more about that in the near future. So don't feel frustrated and don't feel defeated.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Now, I don't know why we get the calls in bunches of 2s and 3s and then nothing. And I don't know why that it might be so, but if you try to call in and you didn't get through, please call back. I'm trying to keep up with the WhatsApps. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Alexander. I'm calling from San Fernando. Could you give your listeners a little more information or details about this Israeli issue? I'm in the dark about that. Has any journalist raised this issue at a press conference? Or if they have not, do they have the cojones to ask some minister that particular question? Thank you.
Well, they may have the cojones, but what they wouldn't have is the salaries after. Because these media houses are told in no uncertain terms by little 1% managers of the government. They call the media houses and say, toe government line or you'll not get government advertising. And in a world where CNC3 and The Guardian, if government advertising stops at Sabga News Network, at Guardian Media, it'll collapse. It is government advertising upholding media that nobody don't use. So the fact that these journalists are the ones that are allowed to ask the questions is the biggest joke of all. The most journalism taking place in this country happens on social media. There are people like myself, Inshan Ishmael, even Suzette Lawa should be given journalistic access to the cabinet. If you want to hear questions, ask. Even Robert Amar. I'll go so far as to tell you, even Ian Allain, even though Ian Allain right now may be compromised because his accommodations may dictate how far he could go in his talk. But that is just me assuming. I could be wrong. But journalism in Trinidad and Tobago died a long time ago together with the free press. We have corporate-owned media. And perhaps even Stephen Rees. I don't know how far Synergy TV will allow him to go, but Stephen is a good guy. He's another good guy. Now you imagine a press conference with those people asking questions. Imagine this country 1 week later. Every single time you have to answer to the public, put people in front of you that will ask you real questions. And you see how quickly this thing started to turn around. It looks like the real thing, but it's not. It's an illusion. They set people up inside of there. I remember watching in the start of the COVID, I remember watching a few of these conferences and it was obviously a stunt. Keith Rowley can't answer serious questions, neither Stuart Young. Call Mimbert, please. These fellas not bright. They're scripted. They talk what they want you to hear, and the media job is to copy and paste what they say. But that's not what journalism is for. Journalism and media is supposed to be on the side of the people, pressing those in power, speaking truth to power, getting answers for the public. All these calls that you heard today, that's people in the dark. the Minister of Health is allowed to talk absolute foolishness. And I'm sure members of the court who watch those shows may think that these are professionals and they're telling the truth, but they're not. They are not telling you the truth. They are not being forthcoming in a country where they're trying to make everything about toe government line. That's a dictatorship. Dictate and you run with it. That's not a democracy. In a democracy, brother, we get to question you on everything, whether you like it or not. That matters not to me. I couldn't care less. I know Richard Nixon wasn't happy with Watergate. I know he wasn't happy with the reporters who dogged him on that issue until he was eventually hounded out of office, the most powerful office in the world. Margaret Thatcher didn't like the media talking to her about her poll tax. Tony Blair, George Bush, they didn't like being quizzed and questioned. I remembered watching Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton did something that the world didn't think we would see in our lifetime. He got the Israelis and the Palestinians to shake hands at that press conference that was supposed to be earth-shaking. And as soon as they opened the floor to questions, the first question was, is it true that Monica Lewinsky has a dress with your semen on it? You see, in a real democracy, the people's right to know comes first, especially the people who pay your salaries, who pay for the chair that you're sitting on, who pay for the electricity and the air conditioning in the room that hums while you're doing your work. The people own the country in a democracy. And right now, they're trying to play a shell game with that under the illusion of a pandemic that all of the numbers tell you is a lie. So now they need a Brazilian variant. They need a Brazilian variant like a crackhead need a hit. They need a Brazilian variant bad. They need something to scare you with, because the numbers on COVID-19, you could go and check yourself. Don't ask me. Go and check yourself. Google. Go and look all over the world on any version of any source of information. How many people have had COVID since it started? How many people have been critical? How many people have died? How many people have survived? What is the statistics? Because that will tell you. Let's come with this nonsense about the Spanish flu in 1918. Let me tell you why the Spanish flu in 1918 had a second wave. And this is why you shouldn't have a pharmaceutical sales rep as your Minister of Health. You should have somebody who understands and knows how to research. At the end of World War I, the only country that was allowing free press was Spain. Everybody else was censoring the atrocities in the war, because war is nasty. And in World War I, they were using chemical weapons and mustard gas to kill people. The only country in the world at that time, in the European theater of war, that was allowing free information was Spain. So in Spain, you was getting information about how many people were dying from this new virus. And that's why it got the name the Spanish flu, because the only people who were talking about it were the Spanish. But many people in the know believe that the first people to have the Spanish flu were actual American soldiers who brought it to the European theater of war. Anyway, in the close confines of war, it was spread throughout the soldiers fighting one another on the front. Now, I want you to remember 1918, the world wasn't as connected as it is now. And when World War I ended, all of these soldiers from all of these countries made their way back home to England, to France, to Spain, to Germany, to Russia, to Australia, to Africa, to the Caribbean, to America, to Canada. And what did they do? They took a fresh virus to countries that had no access to it. And that spread became known as the second wave, and that killed 50 million people, because it was like detonating a virus bomb. That's not our situation now. The world is shut down, locked down. But not only that, this virus is not as bad as that 1918 version of it. This virus, if you have comorbidities, if you are obese, if you are elderly, you may be at risk. And my brother, Paul Elias Alexander, will be on the show tomorrow to give us more information. My brother was an advisor to the United States White House on COVID. He is a world-renowned epidemiologist. And the only reason TTT and CNC3 and TV6 don't cover him is because he's my brother. It's the reason why I walked from Arima to the Red House to make a point about safeguarding our women. Not one media house covered it to date. And this is a real democracy. Come on. But we will get past and get beyond all of this if all of us wake up. That's why we've created a citizens union. People of courage, of character, of compassion, willing to put country first, who have been standing and leading from in front, and we're working with everybody. From the moment Andrea Barrett called us all to action, we responded. I remember meeting a police officer at Andrea Barrett's funeral and shook his hand when I found out who he was. He was the man who led the squad that not only found Andrea, found the people responsible for her death. And I shook Mark Hernandez's hand, and I was proud to have met him and his entire SWORD squad. And Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, I will never forget what you all did for that girl. And we live in a country where it is too easy to bury news. If it wasn't for that candle and that vigil and that candlelight movement, Andrea Barrett would have gone the way of Ashanti Riley. We cried for 3 days, we cussed for 5, we called the radio station in the morning and talk a crocus bag of nonsense, and then we forget about it. We have signed over 100,000 signatures on petitions that are going to be served on the government. Andrea Barrett called us to action. And I want to tell everybody this, regardless of who you are, you could be a kunumumu like Samuel Stafford. I'm not holding grudges for nobody anymore. My job now is to help Trinidad and Tobago lift itself up from the morass, this dank, fetid swamp we've become, this broken gene pool of insanity. People calling to ask, why does nothing work? Nothing works because the country has been seized and controlled by a few moneyed people who, and at some point, have to answer for where they got their money from. But all of that, the history of this country, 58 years of pure corruption. This Trinidad and Tobago, getting to government to make yourself rich. I have shook hands and ended any feuds with everybody. I tell God, Christopher, all the foolishness you talk, stop it today, we friends tomorrow. I have no reason now, as Enchant Ishmael said, and I agreed from that night. The Andrea effect calls for all of us to do better as a country. I want that little innocent angel of a girl to be the symbol for all of us. You want something to stand for her. Stand for somebody so decent, so beautiful, so unblemished, that the hate in this country, the criminality in this country could have destroyed the way they destroyed her. We must never forget. And that's one of the missions. We are going to be doing this show this entire week at this time slot to test the size of the audience. Remember, it rebroadcasts live 8 p.m. tonight and 9 a.m. tomorrow. If you miss it, you're bound to get it. So, wrapping all of that up, the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, citizensuniontt.com, citizensuniontt.org, 486-CUT, C-U-T-T, 471-CUT, C-U-T-T, that's number 2888. Join the movement, come be a part of it. There's strength in numbers. As I told the gentleman who called earlier, your labor and your consumption is this whole country. If everybody who works stopped working, the country stops. If everybody who consumes stopped consuming, the country stops. It is time for us to line ourselves up as citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and demand better. And shows like Plain Talk and others who are outside there working to raise consciousness, to make sure that you're informed. Stay focused on those shows. Avoid the rest. Ignore the noisemakers. This is not a time for that. We need a better country for all of our people. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.